Hey, as an avid viewer of this channel, you might remember my solution of storing footage I shot over the last 4 years. Let's actually call it what it is. It's a pile of shame that has built up over time, getting unorganized with everything thrown into it. Well, about a year ago, it must have been October or so of 23, I tried to get rid of this pile of shame and ordered myself a 2-bay NAS from TerraMaster. And I hated it. It was slow, it was clunky, so loud that I had to get it out of my studio into another room, and more often than not it wouldn't let me access the thing that actually it was for, my files. For whatever reason it decided on that day, and not even with a direct connection via USB. In other words, it made my routine of file organization and backing up things tedious and overall, not fun. So I'm really glad that actually Ugreen decided to approach me with their solution to my pile of shame and my first dabble into a, let's call it, real NAS. They've sent over their new 4-bay NAS DXP4800 Plus without any strings attached to me creating a video on it. I had this for not quite a full month now, and I'm glad to tell you that this actually changed my workflow not only as a content creator here on YouTube, but also as a freelancer and videographer on the business side. So what are we actually going to look at in this video? We'll quickly go over the specs of the NAS, the build quality and how I set it up. Then we'll take a look at how I actually use this in my daily workflow and what I actually use it for. And then I will give you my final conclusion on it. Let's start with the NAS itself. And as you might have guessed it, it's all black everything, which is quite my color scheme. Getting it out, feeling the casing, it is well built, almost I would say tank-like, and design wise I really like it. It's quite sleek, the 4-bay doors on the front are easy to use, 5 LEDs on the front give you all the infos you need about the HDDs inside, and then there are multiple connections in the front and the back for connecting media and storage directly to it. I have it connected directly via LAN cable to my network as well as via USB 3 directly to the Mac. This gives me access to my files whenever I need them, or actually access on the go. Now specs wise, all I can say, it's powerful enough for what I expect it to do. The only thing I consider upgrading in the future is actually on the underside of the NAS. There is a slot which can hold up to 2 NVMe SSDs, which in this case act as cage for speeding up large data transfers onto the hard drives, something that for my personal usage of actually transferring large file sizes from my Red Komodo 6K onto the NAS would be a great thing. Ports wise, the NAS has everything in the right place. In total 2 USB 3.0 ports, 2 older ones, USB-C and an SD card reader on the front, as well as 2.5 and 10 gigabit ports for LAN on the back. Now let's go over how I use this thing actually as a content creator. I film about 95% of my YouTube videos and professional films with the Red Komodo or other Red models we use in our studio. I have roughly 2.5 terabyte of CFast cards for my camera, and I also record the sound you're hearing right now externally. So why am I actually telling you this? Because beforehand I used to copy everything I shot onto an external SSD drive with 2 terabytes of space, which quickly filled up, and then started working from it. And when I was done with editing and rendering, I uploaded the content or sent it to the client and deleted the original files from my cards due to lack of space. 2.5 terabytes sounds much, but in CFast cards this costs roughly 1500 euros. So adding more cards, it wasn't really viable. My past solution for this problem was I deleted almost everything I shot since July of 2023 until November of this year. No way for me to get any of the files for other projects. If I need something, I actually have to reshoot everything. Nowadays, since actually using the NAS, it completely changed the kind of workflow I have. First off, I ditched the external SSD drive. It now functions only as a file transfer thing, or if I work from somewhere on the go with a MacBook on a big video project. Second, I now directly work from my CFast cards. And when I'm done with editing, I actually unplug them, then replug the card reader and the SD card from my sound recorder directly into the NAS, and then actually copy the files onto the drives installed. When it's done, I format the CFast cards and then I'm ready to actually go again. Since early November, it's about 600 gigabytes of data. Also, the NAS is actually configured to back up my Mac Mini once per week, preferably on a Sunday when I'm not using it. And that's another of the points why I really like having a dedicated NAS solution that actually works. With the older one, as said before, it refused to back up my whole Mac. But the new one from Ugreen, the DXP4800 Plus, it just does, which is quite a relief if, and let's not actually jinx it, something would go wrong. The only thing I have to do by hand is making backups of my MacBook Pro if I actually use it on the go. But that's fine, I'm not actually working much with it. The software side of the NAS in of itself is easy to understand, especially for someone like me who isn't that deep into network attached storages as many other people who review these types of devices. To me, as someone who needs storage space, as well as the availability and the ease of use, it just works. And it's easy to understand with enough apps included for my use case. But as far as I understood others, the NAS can easily be, let's call it, upgraded with another OS through an app called Docker. So I guess my final verdict on the NAS in this case and in my use case is pretty simple. It's as versatile as the user in front of it needs it to be. And that is so much better of an experience than I had with the old NAS. I am glad that this one simply works. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you around and goodbye.